Okay, let's talk about a situation so many families find themselves in. You've found the perfect house, right? But the price tag is, well, it's inflated. And it's all because of one thing, the local school district. It is a huge, huge decision with an even bigger price tag.
So that's the real question we're digging into here. Is it actually worth it? I mean, we're talking about an amount of money that could pay for college outright or seriously fund your retirement. It's the kind of decision that can totally change a family's financial future.
And look, that number, it's not just hypothetical. $205,000 is the actual average premium. Houses near top-rated public schools sell for that much more than almost identical homes just a few blocks away in an average-rated district. That difference is just staggering when you think about it. So, yeah, this is way more than just finding a nice place to live. It is a monumental financial choice. And as we're about to see, the real costs and the real benefits, they go so much deeper than just test scores and graduation rates. All right, so to figure out if it's really worth it, we have to understand what you're actually paying for with that premium. So let's break it down. And this is where it gets really interesting, because here's the first big insight. You're not just buying a school. That premium, it's a whole bundle. Now sure, school quality is the biggest piece of the pie at 40%, but look at the rest. 30% is for neighborhood safety, and the other 30% is split between social networks and knowing your property value is likely to be stable. You're buying a whole package deal.
You know, there's actually an economic term for this whole phenomenon. It's called capitalization. It's basically a fancy way of saying that the value of all those good public things, nice parks, low crime rates, and yep, good schools, it all gets baked right into the price of the houses in that area. So the crucial takeaway here is this. When you pay that premium, you're not just buying a piece of property. You're buying a membership, really. It's an entry ticket into an entire community ecosystem that comes with all these perceived benefits.
Now, let's dig a little deeper into one of the biggest pieces of that bundle we just saw, safety. Because this is where things get kind of tricky, like a classic chicken and egg problem, right? Do good schools make a neighborhood safer, or do safer neighborhoods just naturally attract the resources and people that create good schools? And this table just lays it all out crystal clear. Look at the data for these 3 sample neighborhoods. You've got Northwood, with a top-rated 9 out of 10 school, a super low crime rate, and a medium home price of $750,000. Okay, now look all the way down at Southgate, a low-rated school, a way higher crime rate, and a home price that's less than half of Northwood's. The connection is, well, it's impossible to ignore. This quote from an education policy analyst really just hits the nail on the head. Parents aren't just looking at school websites and test scores. They're driving around the neighborhood, right? They're checking out the parks, they're getting a feel for the place. Safety isn't just a number on a spreadsheet, it's pretty much the foundation of their entire search.
Which, of course, brings us right back to the ultimate question. When you consider everything you're buying, is that premium actually a good investment?
Well, the arguments are really compelling on both sides. I mean, on the one hand, paying that premium can get you access to better resources, positive peer groups, a safer environment for your kids, all things that, often lead to a better chance of getting into college. But then you've got the other side of the coin. It can create this immense financial strain on a family. And a lot of studies show that dedicated parental involvement is actually a stronger predictor of a kid's success than the school itself. Plus, you might be limiting your child's exposure to the kind of diverse world they're going to live in one day. So as you can see, there's no single right answer here. What might be a fantastic investment for one family could be a really crippling mistake for another. It all just comes down to a super personal calculation of your values, your finances, and what your priorities are for your kids and for your family's well-being. But this whole decision, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. So let's zoom out for a second, away from the individual family, and just look at the bigger picture. What are the societal consequences of a system like this?
When you tie housing and school quality this tightly together, the ripple effects are enormous. It basically links a child's educational opportunities directly to their parents' wealth. It can reinforce residential segregation, and over time, this system creates these really deep, concentrated pockets of advantage and disadvantage. It makes it so much harder for kids from less affluent areas to climb the ladder. It puts the whole American promise of social mobility to the test.
So while it feels like a very personal choice, about one house for one family, the collective weight of millions of us making these same decisions, it shapes the very structure of our communities and, in the end, our country. And that really leaves us with a final and, I think, crucial question to think about. When access to a good school becomes a luxury good, something you have to buy along with an expensive house, what does that mean for the promise of equal opportunity for everyone?